What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you're new here. I'm Nad, and today we'll be looking at the combo video for the end boards that I've posted for Nekroz on the channel and in the Nekroz Discord. So what I've mentioned before is that yes, the new combos are cool and all with the shifter and without the shifter. However, we need to decide on a solid end board to know that that's the goal for every combo line. So in this video, I'll be showing you an end board that is fairly consistent with either drawing Emilia or Avance, any one of your Nekroz starters pretty much, along with an extender or just purely Nekroz. So alright, without further ado, let's jump on into the video. Also, please remember to like the video to show us that you're rocking with the content that we're doing, and you can subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos from us. Alright, so we're going to start this combo off similar to how we start most of our Nekroz combos. Now, most of my Avance, he's going to special summon Emilia. Emilia is going to add us a Brainiac. If you're afraid of troll, you could directly add the Catastor. However, you want to be able to use Emilia's effect to special summon, and for that, you need like a Warrior Nekroz on your field or in the grave. So we're adding the Brainiac. We're going to special summon yugioh and go Bahamut. It's going to summon Toad. Then we go Brainiac to add Catastor. Catastor is going to reborn your Avance. So whenever you go Bahamut and you're going to use this effect, if you don't have two Nekroz underneath the Bahamut, you should ensure that you detach your Nekroz, because you always want your Nekroz live in your grave in order to do something like this, or if your Toad were to use this negate, so you can add back either Emilia or your Avance. So the better play right here would have been to overlay with the Emilia and the yugioh. Now we're going to go into a second Bahamut to summon another Toad. And we're going to go into Twins of Eclipse. In the other combos, we used 3 cards where we need a spell. And the reason for that is we can go into Full Armor Relancer. And in order to do that, we can use a rank 4 monster or lower by sending a spell or trap from our hand to the grave. However, if we are doing the yugioh line, we don't need to do that, because the Toad is going to add us the yugioh. And the yugioh is going to provide us the additional level 4 to go into a rank 4 place. If we don't have a yugioh, so if you have like an Harpooner or the then you'd have to do the Utopic Relancer line, because you want the additional 4, which would be either the Shatana or the Avance that the Coral Anemone would summon. So Coral Anemone requires you to have 2 waters, while Sorcerer's Sebek requires just 2 effect monsters. So right here, we're going to go Twins and Toad to go Sebek. Twin and Toad is going to trigger in the grave. Twins is going to special summon your Bahamut Shark by attaching the Toad, and Toad is going to add your Emilia to the hand. Now we're going to detach the Toad to special summon your Le Virtue, and it's going to trigger in Toad. So you're going to go Toad 1 and Le Virtue 2 to add a Virtue Stream. So now you're going to go into your King, which requires you to have either a Sea Serpent or Aqua, which this is a Sea Serpent, this is an Aqua. You're going to our King, and as we mentioned before, we have our Emilia in hand with a Warrior Nekroz in the grave, which is our Brainiac. So Emilia can special summon. And now that we have a spellcaster on the field again, we can abuse yugioh, because it's not once per turn. You can just only control 1. So we special summon our yugioh and we go into a Dweller. And the reason why we activated our Dweller is because we want to trigger our King. Before, I thought that Le Virtue could do that by using his effect to detach a material and add back a Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua from the grave. But for some reason, it didn't trigger for me here. So I just figured it couldn't work. So I just used the Dweller to detach to trigger the King. And we're going to equip our Mizushi from the deck. So what we have here is an Omni, a spell negate, which can occur 2 times. So let's say they use their first spell and this falls off, which is the good thing about it. They use their negate, it falls off. Now we use Dweller's effect or use Toad's effect. He's going to trigger again to equip this guy from the grave. So it'll be your second spell negate, plus you have a pop 2. Also, whenever you use your Dweller, you're going to use the Virtue Stream to pop this afterwards, because you don't want to pop your Virtue Dragon, because the ability to detach from any XCs to recycle an XCs is pretty powerful. Well, not an XCs, to recycle a Fish, Sea Serpent, or Aqua. So with this guy on the field, you can have any rank 4 on the board, uses the effect once per turn to detach a material and either add back your Dweller, your Toad, or one of your Bahamut Sharks, pretty much. You can even add back the Sebek or the King if he manages to go to the grave. Alright, so the thing with Shatana, different from the yugioh, is that you have to go with Shatana first. And once you've used the Shatana, you can't really use her again, because I think it's once per turn for both effects. So you're going to go Avance. So the reason for the extenders, to be honest, is you can do all of that on your own with just the Nekroz. However, you have to keep in mind that your opponent can imperm you or Veil or Ash or something. So you want some form of level 4 extenders in order for you to go into your Bahamut Shark or any one of your rank 4s. And seeing that primarily most of your monsters are water, it's best to use water level 4 extenders so you can have access to really powerful cards. This card and this card are crazy cards, to be honest. So Emilia is going to add our Bernac right here. We're going to go into our Bahamut Shark. As before, then we're going to add our Cataster. It's pretty much the same combo as before. However, the lines may differ due to the fact that we have Shitana and not Gigabyte. Alright, so this time we added back our Emilia because we don't have Gigabyte. It wouldn't really make sense to add back your Shitana. So now we're going to go into our Coral for the Avance. And I kind of messed up here. I shouldn't have summoned the Bahamut Shark in this zone because you want this to be under your King's protection. So we summon Art of Virtue. So it's going to trigger. And right there, we use your Toad in order to recycle a Toad. So we go King. And then we use Emilia's effect. Going to Abyss Dweller, detach, and equip. All right, so this is the Emilia combo. So you don't have to open specifically your Avance in order to full combo. And that was the issue with the combos before. We were worrying too much about opening the Avance and that, oh, if we normal summon our Emilia, we can't get to our full combo that we like because we already used our normal summon. However, with this, you can still build a similar board and not worry about the Avance play. So we're going to go Shitana. So right here, we're going to add our Bernac. Go Bahamut Shark. Then Bernac is going to add us Cataster. Cataster is going to reborn the Shituna. So we use those two to go into Queens of Equips. Then we discard our spell. All right, so the issue with this combo now is, as you've seen, because we don't have a Toad for protection, we're very weak to Nib. So we're going to use those two to go into Coral. So as you can see, Toad added back Emilia, and now we're going to go into a second Toad. And now Toad is going to add back the Cataster to hand. The good thing about having Shitana is that it's less than 1500, so we can reborn it with Coral. So now we make King, and Emilia is going to trigger. I'm going to turn those two into a Bahamut Shark. King is going to trigger to equip, and then we're going to get the trap for the Virtue. And as I've said, you can use the Virtue here to take the material from the Bahamut Shark and put to himself, or seeing that, well, went through 2 Bahamut Sharks. So I was going to say, seeing that we have like another Bahamut Shark, we could return something else. But what I'm going to do here is, as you can see, detach, and we added back, what did we add back? We added back a Toad to the extra deck. And that's pretty much it. So I remember I was asked in the Discord, like, what's the purpose of the Harpooner? Because they're already familiar with Shitana and a bit with the Gigabyte. You want to be able to go into your board without fully committing your normal summon to a play that you know that it's risky. This can also bait out negates if you're going second, because this just reveals itself in another water monster, and then you decide which water monster you want to special summon from your hand and discard the other one. In most cases, you'll always special summon your Emilia because you want your effect to add. But if you're going up against like a board and you're playing the board breaker variant and you say like Dark Ruler No More or something, and like a line or like the coast is clear pretty much, and you say like Dark Ruler No More, you can always use this to summon himself, and then you just normal summon like Avance or something, then go into your Aurora. Is it Aurora Whale? I think it's Aurora Whale. And Aurora Whale is going to destroy all of your opponent's attack position monsters, and then you pretty much just synchro climb up. All right, so what we're gonna do here, Dark Corner, going to special summon Emilia. Emilia is going to add us our Bernac. Bernac is going to add us Avance this time, and then we're going to normal the Avance. Avance is going to special another Emilia. And this is one of the reasons why I'm thinking about running the Sorcerer as another spellcaster body, because we don't want to use all of our Emilias all at once. So we're going to detach, summon a Toad, go Twins, go Ray Lancer, and go Coral. We do summon a Toad. Toad is going to add the events to hand this time. It's really for the follow-up, but as I said before, when I was looking back at the list, the only thing I could go for is a Shirut after this combo. So probably playing a third Emilia would be fine, or another spellcaster to go into if you've made this play. So you're going to reborn the Harpooner with your Coral. And also, like with a board like this, like as long as you've used your Toad, you can go Zealantis and board wipe because now you're locked into water. You go King, you go Emilia to summon, and you use those two to go into a bomb. And it's pretty much what you've seen before, but this time instead of normaling the Emilia and having like an extender, we went Emilia into our events, and seeing that we already used our Emilia's effect to add the Buranak, we didn't go to a Catastrophe line, so we had to use our events effect to summon another Emilia. If you had played like Great Sorcerer or something like the Psychic one, or even the Pendulum version of events, I don't remember what it's called, Swordsman or something, you could always like save an Emilia for the grind game, because as you've seen, we have events in hand for the turn 3 to go for a game pretty much. So he's going to special summon another Nekroz, and then you're pretty much going to go half the Virtue. Also, you could have added back your opponent to the hand. Alright, so if you made it this far into the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more from us. And with that, let's jump on into the list. Alright, so let's take a brief overview of the cards that haven't really changed much, and then go into the new ratios and the new additions to the deck. Also, I have another deck list, which after discussion and thought, I had replaced a few cards in the deck and increased the ratios of some cards to suit the deck more. So what we have here is 3 Avens, 2 Emilia, 1 Shuri, 3 Bernac, 1 Unicorn, 1 Catastrophe, 1 a Red Bear, 2 Divine Mirror, 1 Cycles, and in the side deck we have a Mellotron and Trishula. As for the bumps in ratio for the Gigabyte is because we're a more Xyz focused deck, so we want to see extenders when we open our Avens or Emilia, so if they get stopped we can just go off, and if they don't get stopped we still have that additional push go with our combo. 3 Shitana, it's the same reasoning as your Gigabyte. The only difference is that you have to summon Shitana first. 2 Harpooner, because you have some hands that you open Emilia and you don't want to normal summon her, and seeing that Emilia gets you to any of your rituals or ritual spells, you can use Harpooner to summon the Emilia, and then Emilia will add the Burnak, which could add your Avens. And then in a combo like that, you'd most likely go to 2 Emilia, and we were talking about playing 3 Emilia in the Discord and cutting probably the Virtue for an SP and the Trap, but I figured cutting one of these 3 cards is way better than cutting this power card and your Virtue, which could recycle your extra deck. Alright, so now for the hand traps, we have like 3 Joel, 2 Ash, 2 Bells, 2 Cross Out, Called by the Grave, 2 Talents, 3 Imperm. And the thing about Bell is it kind of hits the Malice Field spell, the plugin, along with the effect of the detonator to attach a monster from the graveyard. So it hits a lot of stuff. Not to mention it's drastic for your deck, and seeing that you're playing cross out, you'd most likely need to play like hand traps that will stop you. So it's really for like cards that will stop you more than cards that will really impact like everything else completely. But seeing that this also hits a lot of stuff, it's really good to play her with the Ash and Draw. Now for the extra deck, we have our King, which as you've seen, it's pretty much a cycler for a negate, Coral, a Monster Reborn, and Sebek. It helps you climb into your King and trigger your Eclipse by allowing him to leave the field without being locked into the water that will just have. I think all Gigabyte lines should go through the Sorcerer instead of your Coral, because you're most likely wasting your Coral. Zeus, Utopic Ray Lancer, Twins of Eclipse, Agushka, Dweller, Kraken. This also gets over cards that cannot be targeted, so this is why the Trish isn't in the main anymore. Bomber Shark, the Virtue, and 2 Toads. The thing about the Virtue is that it can help to recycle any one of these cards right here and your Toad from the graveyard, as long as you have an Xyz on the field to detach the material from it. And also he adds you a Sword Soul Blackout that doubles as an interruption for decks like Fiendsmith, where if they go into Moon, you can banish this from the grave, targets in the Moon, and turn it into a water monster, so it won't longer be a light fiend, so they can't go into their Requiem. We have Entis, because we play Ultimate Slayer and a Herald in the side. If you don't want to play Ultimate Slayer, you can always cut the Entis and your Herald and play something like a SP, because we're not playing Kaleidoscope, so there's nothing else to really trigger the Entis. Now for the second list, as you can see, we've cut down on the ritual spells and put them in the side deck. So if we're in a duel where we found having a Trish or a Red Bear necessary, then we'll just side in the 3 ritual spells, which are the Cycle and the Divine Mirror, along with the Shirut and these 2 cards. We also kept our Heralds, and the rest of the side deck is 3 Ultimate Slayer, 1 Lightning Storm, 3 Thrust, 1 Water Spiritual Alert. As for the main deck, seeing that we have the space, we added 3 Thua and we cut 1 of the Droll, seeing that we are playing 3 of the Sky. So this is mainly for across our target. This is also for across our target. However, if we're going to play it, we're going to play that 3, because if we open it, go in second, we can use it as a power card pretty much. We also increase the Designator to 3, and we still have our double talents and our Call by the Grave with the Fortress Dream and Mizuchi. So the cards that haven't really changed are the Shitana, the Jigabite, the Harpooner, and the Avance. We increased our Emilia to 3. We kept the rituals, but the new addition is our Pendulum Spellcaster, Zephyr Saber. The good thing about this is it's a level 4, right? It's a spellcaster, and if push comes to shove and we want to ritual summon and it's in our hand, or we added it back from the grave to the hand, we can discard it from the hand to ritual summon by tributing monsters from our hand or field to ritual summon from our hand. So unlike the ritual spells, which if you drew them you couldn't really do anything, this is a rank 4 material while being a ritual spell, because you're never going to pendulum scale it, and you're not going to link it off either, because you always want it in the grave. The extra deck hasn't really changed, it's the same as before. So yeah, in testing, this is far more consistent, seeing that you don't have, I would say, 3 bricks, but it's really 5 bricks, which is this guy and this guy. Seeing that you don't have 5 bricks in the main, it's far more consistent, because opening either one of these cards with either one of your extenders is pretty much full combo. Alright, so that'll be it for today, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll be doing a few more testing on this deck to see how far we can take it from here.